Hello and welcome to my channel Dead Programmers. Today we shall be discussing and learning very important topic in the JavaScript, that is arrays. So here is the basic definition of the array in the JavaScript. So the definition is, an array is a data structure that can hold multiple value in a single variable. Okay, here if we see the syntax of the an array, here we have defined the array and stored multiple values in it. Make sure we enclose all the values inside the braces. Arrays are zero indexed, which means that the first element is at index 0. First element refers to the value 1. So if we want to use or console this value, we have to use the index 0, that we will see later on, that how we can print this value or get access of this value. Types of values. Arrays can store mixed data types, which means arrays can store numbers, strings and objects at the same time. If an array has different type of data types in a single array, then the array is called heterogeneous array. What does heterogeneous means? Heterogeneous means it has different types of data. It has different data types. It's called heterogeneous array. And if an array has the same type of data type, same type of values having the same data type, is called homogeneous array. Homogeneous array means array containing single type of values. This means if an array consists of all the values having data type number or the strings or objects, make sure it has same type of data type. So that kind of array is called homogeneous array. And if the array has values consisting of different data types, it is called heterogeneous array. So now we will try to learn how to access the elements inside an array. So if we want to access the value at the 0 index, which means value 1, what will we do? We will simply write name of the array or the variable we have defined for the array, and then use this is how we use indexing to access values from an array. This means we are using or the asking for 0 index value. And what is the 0 index value? Here we can see. Let's see how this works. Okay, after setting environment variable, so we shall try to print this value. Let's see if this selection works. Okay, no. So this selection is not working. We have to comment other sections in order to make it work, but make sure your array is not commented. And also this variable, because this is not meaningful to the compatible with compiler applications. Alright, so simply we will must install the latest stable version of the otherwise we are adding some meaningful values. If we press it, we can upgrade and downgrade the version of the node. So here we go. So we can see that 1 is printed, which means that 0 at the 0 index, which value is lying? 1 value. And if we want to get the 2, what will we do? We will simply write console.log. Console.log simply prints the values and then array one index.
In order
And
to create Node.js page,
we will run this program.
pages, you have to use npm node.
We can see that it is 2. Now 2 has been added. And what if we want to
project application
access the 3? Then simply we will write array
packages already installed.
3.
So I can see that all these packages in the script is written to the package.
Okay, see, here is the issue. What is the issue? Why this is undefined? Because we are trying to access the index, that is 3, which is actually not lying here. How? We have only 3 values and the index starts from 0. So at the 0 index we have 1, at the 1 index we have 2, at the 2 index we have 3, and there is no third index inside our array. So I am trying to access third index. So
okay,
what it is printing? It is printing undefined. This means that this value has not been defined. If it is not defined, how can we access it?
now we are inside.
So simply we will write 2 instead of 3 in order to print the
application
value 3.
npm init. This command is
Here we go.
initialize.
You can see now that 3 has been printed.
Okay, so
Okay, if we want to, instead of printing all the values separately or one by one, what
the package
we can do,
the package file.
if we want to print all the values in one go, we will simply write we will apply for loop on the array. Okay, one thing more that I want to clarify is this array is a variable name, and this is not constant or predefined variable. We can use any variable we want. Like I want to use it if this array consists of the numbers, or I simply want to give a name to it, that
open the CM
numbering. Okay, for example, this is a numbering, this is a simple numbering. So this shows that we define a variable for any type of array that is somehow meaningful. If I am trying to show or highlight the numbers, and array consisting of numbers, I will simply write the numbering. And if this is a list of
all the
players,
directly into VS Code.
I will simply write list of players in this way.
Here we can see that.
So
we can see that
I have to replace this variable here too, otherwise it will throw an error,
or the Node.js application,
because this array has not already been
currently the
declared.
dependencies are not installed, but we can.
So here we go, all the numbers are printed successfully.
So we have our
So in order, if we want to print all these values in one go, what will we do? We will simply use for loop.
The index.js.
All right, so we will define for loop. Let
or application
loop starts from the 0. Don't worry, if you are unable to understand, do not worry about this. I will create another video
has been created
for the loops.
We will
So where there I will be
make that
clarifying you everything about the loops.
port number. So the
Okay, we must define a variable name. Here we have a I variable name that starts from 0 and goes till list of players.
The package is added. So
Dot
simply you
length.
need to write
The length is an array method.
npm.
Okay, that basically gives the
Right at the top, at the very top,
count of the
package.
values inside an
That's
array,
npm package.
and we go and increment.
You can
I plus plus is an increment.
help you to install it.
So here console dot log,
We will go to our project and simply
and I will simply write
paste that
list of players
and we will press the enter.
I. What will this do? This will simply iterate over an array. This loop will simply iterate over an array and print all the values it has
inside our package.
So we will comment out these
Dependencies
consoles
added.
in order to get our answers in clear
all dependencies
terms.
our all dependencies will be listed here. Whatsoever dependency.
Here we go. So we have all the values printed here. So there we have only three numbers inside an array.
Compatible with the
We can have anything inside this. Okay, let me some more examples. Okay, if it has name,
use of this.
okay, suppose if it has a Naseem inside it and I want to print it. See, this is how an array in JavaScript looks like and works. This is now a heterogeneous array. Why? Because I already defined a term called heterogeneous array and homogeneous array. Heterogeneous array has different data types.
This package
Okay, different type of data types. Different data types. So here we have, this is a string, this is a simply a number. It can also have a boolean value, false. Okay, so if we run it, we will see that false will be printed. Here you go. So we have three different types of data types inside an array. This is called a heterogeneous array, and if we have same type of that we already had consisting of only of numbers. Okay, if we call this array an info because it is highlighting some info, and we have to use info here as well and here as well. So let's see if it works. Okay, it is working fine. So this is all about the array. If you have any question or query about arrays, I will also be creating arrays video on the array methods and everything related to the array in the next videos. So do not worry about that. I will clarify everything about the arrays and loops as well. So my next videos will be on the methods one by one.
And then
so
the port number.
in the next videos you will be getting more insights on the arrays. Thank you so much. If you have any question or any query, let me know in the comment section and I will respond to your query as soon as possible. Thank you.
It will send the hello world.
And in this lecture we shall be discussing the important methods of array. In this lecture we will cover push method, pop, shift and unshift. We will go through all these methods and will try to explain each of these with the example. First of all, if we discuss about the push method, what basically the push method do, it adds elements in the last of an array. And then pop method, pop basically extracts or removes the last element from the array. And then we have a shift method. In shift method, what does shift method do? Shift method simply removes the first element from an array. And finally the unshift method. Unshift method adds an element to the start of an array. Alright, now we will move to the example and we'll try to explore how all these methods work in the programming in JavaScript. So if we talk about the example of push method, we will take an array, define an array, let array and the values be of strings. Let's suppose we have names Alex, John and Ali. We have three names in our array. So if we apply push method, let's say array dot push, this is the syntax, basic syntax of the push or any of the method. we simply concatenate or add any of the array methods with the name of the array, and then simply we will add Ahmad here. So if we try to console array now, we will see that Ahmad will be added in the last of an array. Array here, and we are now consoling the array, and we'll try to run it. Make sure you have no extra text or anything in the code so that the code may run smoothly. So now we will execute it. Okay, we can see here the code has been executed, and it has shown that Ahmad has been added to our new array. Alright, this is how the push method works, and if we want to add more element to it, we will simply add more push elements in it, push methods to it. So push methods will automatically add the values to the last of an array. And now we will move to the pop method, example of our pop method, and we will be working with the very same array. Alright, we will keep our original array as it is, and we'll try to comment all the code of push in order to make things more clearer. So here we will simply apply array dot pop, array dot pop. There is no need to pass any of the any value to the pop method, because what it does, it basically removes, takes the last value from an array and removes it. So here we will execute our code. Let's see. Alright, we have to print our code in order to in order to get the value in our output. We will simply console.log and then simply print the array, and now we will re-execute it again. So here we can see that only two values, we can see only two values, Alex and John. Ali has been removed. So pop method simply removes the last element from an array, from our array. So this was the example of pop. So we can remove more elements if we perform more pop methods on our array. We will see that John will also be removed from the array now. Here we go, only Alex, we have got only Alex in the output. It means that 2 times operation has been performed, and we have and the two of the values, last values, remember that last values, pop removes the last values from the array. So the two of the names has been removed from our array, and finally we have got the result, and the result is the Alex. So it was all about the pop method. Now we will move to the shift method. What does shift do? Shift removes the first element from an array. So we will simply perform array dot shift. Just like pop, in the shift in the shift we do not need to add any of the parameter to it. It will simply take the 0 index of an array. If you have any confusion in the indexing, I will be giving the link of my previous video in the description, so you can watch that video and get the concept of arrays clarified. Alright, so we will simply console our array after performing the shift on it. We will execute it. Alright, there is some execution error, so we will try to refresh our page and execute it again. Fine, we can see that there is no more Alex no more in our array. It means that shift operation is performed on our array and the Alex has been removed from it. Alex was our first value on the 0 index of an array and it has successfully been removed. So this was the remove. If we perform more shift on our array, we will see that now on the 0 index what value lies? John is lying on the 0 index. Now John will be removed as well if we execute our code again. See, only Ali is remaining. Two of our initial values, Alex and John, has been removed. So this was all about the shift method. Shift simply removes the first element from our array. So we will comment our code and move to the unshift. As unshift adds the value, so in order to add a value, first we have to pass the parameter to it. We will pass any value to it, so it will take the 0 index of an element of our array and places the value on the very first index. So here we go, array dot unshift, and I will add Nasim to it and simply parent it to show the effects of unshift. Console.log and array. We will execute our code and we'll see that Nasim would be added to the very start of our array. Here you can see that Nasim has successfully been added to the array. If we want to add more values to our array dot unshift, Johnson. We are passing the value to the as a Johnson. Now two values including Nasim and Johnson will be added to our new array. So we will execute and see the okay. Alright, so here we can see Johnson and Nasim has been added. So this was all about the push method, pop method, shift and unshift. If you are not clear about the concept of the array, I will be sharing the link of my previous video where I have defined and explained each and everything about an array and concept of an array in my video. In this class, we will be learning the very important methods. In the previous class, we learned about push, pop, shift and unshift. Those methods, push, pop, are very important methods. Shift and unshift as well. All these methods are mostly used while performing different operations. Today, these methods, length, reverse, sort and concatenate. In this lecture, we will be covering all these four methods. So first of all, let me define the function of the length method. What does length method do in the arrays? So length method, from the term we can infer that it will show the length of the array, or simply, or in more simplistic way, we can say that it will show the count of the elements in an array. For example, let me write the definition of the length. It will show or highlight or represent the length of an array. For example, we have an array named array, and inside that array we have values like name of different or famous places around the world, like Taj Mahal, and then White House, and then we have Silicon Valley in California. So what I will do, I will simply perform the length method on it. In the previous lecture, I told you how the methods of array work. So in order, if you haven't seen that, you must watch that first. Array dot length. I will simply console or store the array length. Len is equal to array dot length. Make sure that this method doesn't take the braces with it. So do not add that, otherwise it will throw an error. And we will simply write the length of array and then length, because we have stored the array length of array in len variable. So we have printed it here. So we have to, in order to run the program, we will first comment out the other remaining text which is not basically understandable to the compiler. So here we will run it and it will try to see what it produces. So here we go. Here is the length of, because we have three variables, Taj Mahal, or the three values, three name of the places. Instead of this, I shall write more meaningful name of places. This is more meaningful. This array is basically highlighting the name of the various famous places around the world: Taj Mahal, White House, and Silicon Valley. So I simply wrote or stored the length of name of places. We will replace all these value at other places as well, so we may not get any error when the program executes. So we have stored the length of name of the places variable or the array inside the len, and then I have simply printed it. And then we will re-execute this in order to make sure that we get the right result or the correct result. Here we have the length of array is 3, because we have 3 values inside the name of places. This is how the length method works. And then next we have reverse method. For example, you have the problem or any task that defines or that asks you to reverse the values of an array. Okay, let's define it first. It reverses the values of an array. How it reverses a value of an array? Let me tell you. Okay, first we will define an array. Okay, reverse array. We will define a array name, reverse array, and then we will simply store numbers in it. Okay, so 1 comma 2 comma 3, okay, comma 4 comma 5, right? So then we will simply perform define a variable reverse, and then perform reverse operation on the reverse array. Dot reverse. That's it. This is how you will perform operation on the reverse, and we will simply print the reversed array, the reversed array. All right, here it is. So now we will execute our code. Let's see. All right, here is the resultant array. In the reversed array, this is first from our length method, where we have defined the length of an array, and then we have reversed array. Okay, in this array, in the straight array, we have 1 2 3 4 5, and then we have performed reverse operation on it and stored the value in reverse. What this line does, this line simply stores the reverse operation performed on the array. So in the reverse variable, we have reversed array, that is 5 4 3 2 1. Here we have 1 2 3 4 5, then in the reverse array we have got 5 4 3 2 1. That's it. This is how reverse array works. Reverse method works in an JavaScript. So next we have sort. The sort method in an array puts the values in an order, in an ascending order. Okay, all right. Okay, so how it defines the values in an ascending order, like let's say this is, we are firstly defining unsorted array. In an unsorted array we have random values, like we have 5 3 55 25 100. Okay, we have these 5 values, and we will perform the operation on unsorted array, and we will store in a variable called sorted. Unsorted array dot sort. What this actually, here we are performing sort operation on the unsorted array. So our unsorted array will be converted into a sorted array. Okay, so in the sorted array, let's see what's happening. We will console the values. Okay, here it is, sorted array, and then we will simply print sorted, because we have stored unsorted sorting operation in the sorted variable. Here we go, we will simply execute it. Okay, for some reasons the numbers are not working in an array. We will try to add other values in the array, so let's see if they are working. But it should work, because the number take actually on the back end we have ASCII numbers. So ASCII numbers of can be of characters as well as numbers. So here we will try to replace the values with the characters, or the numbers with the characters, from example from W3 schools. Right, here instead of numbers we shall use any name of the fruits. Okay, mango, banana, and then we have orange. Let's see if this works. Okay, here we have missed the braces. We will use braces. All right, here what basically, how it performs, how it basically works at the back end. It simply checks the first variable of the values. First variable, like the ASCII number of B is lower than the ASCII value of M, and ASCII value of O is greater than the ASCII value of M. So this perform a comparison operator. Here we can see on the W3 schools, we can see that compare. This is how it basically works at the back end. So it performs a comparison operation. So when it throws the result, it will sends in a ordered array. So here in the result we can see the ordered array where the banana comes first instead of mango here in an unsorted, and then comes the mango, and then comes the orange. So that is how the sorting works. And then we have concatenation. Concatenation simply combines the values, or the simple, or we can say it merges the two arrays. How? Let me tell you. Okay, in the example we will define two arrays. We have A. Inside A we have Alex, Johnson, Jimmy. And in the array B, let's say we have an array B, and inside that array we have Ali, Ahmad, and Saad. So we will perform, let's say we have concatenated array, and A dot concat B. What will we do next? We will simply print this. We are performing concat function, or the method on the operation on the array A, where we are concatenating array B with array A. Okay. And if we want to concatenate B with A, so we will simply reverse the values. On the place of A we will put B, and on the place of B we will put A. So the values will be reversed. The value on which operation is performed will come the first, like A dot concat, first A will come, and then the values of B will be concatenated. So here we will simply console the log concatenated arrays, and then con, where we have stored, and we will execute this. All right, here we can see that Alex, first a values of array A are appearing, Alex, Johnson, Jimmy, and then we have the values of B. Okay, these are the two arrays. What if we have third array, C? Inside C we have some more names. John, Alistair, Stubbs. We have all these. So what will we do? We will simply paste the value third array inside the concat method. So we will try to execute the code and we'll see the result. Let's see. All right, here we can see John, Alistair, and Esther have been added in our resultant array. So this was all about our class for today. So if you have any query, let me know in the comment section. Also, if you want to see, it is very important to get all the methods clear. So for today's class, it is we have covered the 4 different methods: reverse, sort, and concat, and then length method. These methods are very much important and very much useful in the JavaScript. Apart from this, yeah, if you have missed the previous lecture, you must watch. I will be adding the link in the description. You should watch it because push, pop, shift, unshift are used most of the times while we perform or do any of the tasks. So we will be learning so much very important methods for each versus map. We will try to differentiate in between these two. In continuation to our previous lectures, where we have covered different methods of array in JavaScript, and those methods are also very much important. If you haven't watched those videos, please go to my channel and have a look at on them. So today we will be describing and explaining and go and dig deep into the for each and map methods of array, how they differ from each other. So let's start. First of all, we are covering the for each method. Here some of the 4 points are discussed about the for each and 4 points are discussed about the map. So let's see what is the difference between them. For each, first one, the for each method doesn't return a new array based on the given array. You should remember this because it is very important to understand how for each works at the backend. For each method doesn't return new array. You should remember this because it is opposite to the map function or map method. Second, we have the for each method returns undefined. Since it doesn't return anything, so what it does return? It returns undefined. The for each method doesn't return anything, hence the method chaining technique cannot be applied here. If we want to chain the methods like filter, sort, reduce or other methods, we cannot do this while using the for each method. We can do that with the map function that we will see, even solve an example how chaining works in the map and how it fails with the for each method. It is not executed for empty elements. If there are no elements in the array, this method will not get executed. So this was the simple theoretical explanation of the for each method. We will see how these methods differ from each other, and I will try to explain with the examples. Then we have the map method. The map method returns an entire new array from the original array. It doesn't affect the original array. It returns a new array instead. Second, the map method returns a newly created array according to the provided callback function. Whatever we provide inside our callback function, it will get returned based on our condition. So we will see this how this works with the example. Third, with the map method we can chain other methods like reduce, sort. For example, if we are working with the numbers where we want to return particular numbers, like we are executing the condition on those numbers which are greater than 10, so we will try to chain the filter function with that. So we will see here how it works. And the fourth, it doesn't change the original array. One thing that we need to understand, that for each method works on the original array that we provide to it, and map method doesn't change the original array. Instead, it creates a new array from the original array and performs operation on the copied or the similar array that is generated right from the original array. So here I have written an example. So first of all, we will simply give example of for each method. Here we will initialize an array. Let suppose we have player numbers. Inside our array we have numbers. Suppose we are taking random numbers. All right, these are the numbers of the players which are placed in a random way. So we will try to apply for each method, and we'll try to we will use our array name, that is array number. All right, for each we need to understand, or we need to remember this syntax, and here we pass the callback function. Inside our callback function there are two important things. There are other parameters as well, but two of them are important. The first one is item, or the simply the player, or the number, if we make it more clear. Okay, the next one is index. So here we are passing the callback function to the method. All right, we will simply console the player numbers. It will simply iterate over the array and will print it on our log that we have right on the right side as output. All right, we have number, and we will simply print this number. This number is basically the single or the current element. Fine, firstly we will have 4, and then we will have 6, and then we have so on so forth. Okay, we will try to execute this our code. Let's see what it produces. Due to network issue, it is taking little time. Hopefully it will return the result within seconds. All right, we have a syntax issue. So we will write for it. This is what the syntax of for each looks like. So we will re-execute it. Let's see if this works. Here is the result. So 6422 57. Well, this is very important to remember the syntax, and for the computer or the system, it for each in the smaller letters and for each in the capital letters differ. How? Because at the back ASCII numbers or ASCII values are created for each character. So ASCII value for the smaller E or ASCII value for the capital E have different values. Therefore, because I had written all this in smaller letters, so it produced an error. Well, so we have seen the result. We have on the right side, on the very right side, we have the result of our array. So now we will try to execute the chaining function. Chaining on this. We'll try to filter item item greater than, for example, 10. So we will see what error it produces, and it is sure that it will produce an error and it will not allow us to change the for each method. Alright, cannot read the properties of undefined. Reading filter, because it is not allowing to filter the items, or chaining is not, or simply we can say that chaining is not allowed in the for each method. On the other hand, if we simply want to use the map method and print the numbers, okay, so here we have renamed the function that I had already defined, and here I will simply console the double number. Okay, I will just cut it and paste it here, and we will execute the code. And not greater than 4, because this is not the chaining numbers, simply as simple as it is. So here we will see the numbers from this array, numbers array. As this is not allowing, we have just commented out the code, we have re-executed it, and we have seen 2468. We have 2468. Why this is 2468? Because the numbers are doubled inside this map method is returning doubled of each number. This is getting a number on each index and then multiplying it with the 2. Here 1 to the 2, 2 to the 4, 3 to the 6, 4 to the 8. And then we have the chaining values. We have chained the map method. Here we have simply performed the map method. Remember, the syntax must be remembered before you use it, otherwise it might create some problems with you. Without knowing the syntax, you cannot code. It is very important to understand the syntax. So inside the method we have doubled number, and then we have changed the filter method with this array returned. What will this array return? From the first method of mapping, it will double the number, and from that the condition is applied on the filter method, that is the number must be greater, it will return the values greater than 4. Here we will copy this and paste it here, and double, we will write here double numbers. Okay, double numbers. And because we have changed the variable name, so we will also change the variable name here as well. We will execute this. Let's comment this out, and we will re-execute our code and try to find out the output of the doubled numbers. Here we can see the result. All right, because we have applied the condition, the number must be greater than 4. The two numbers that we have greater than 4 are 6 and 8. Other two are 1 and 4. Because condition is greater than 4, if it was equal to 4, greater or equal to 4, it would have also included 4 in it, in the resultant array here. So now this has included the 4. This is the basic difference between the map and array function. Thank you so much. This was all about the class today. If you have any question or any query related to this class, also related to the previous class, let me know in the comment section. Thank you. Very important method in the arrays. In the previous class we had discussed some very important methods, so if you haven't seen that video, please visit my channel and watch them, so that you may have your concepts cleared. In this class we shall be discussing very important methods, that is reducer. Reducer, basically from the term reducer, we can infer or we can understand that what does reducer do? Reducer, basically the terminological meaning of reducer is it reduces something. So in terms of JavaScript, here is simple description of the reducer method that I have written for you for your concepts. That the reduce method executes a reducer function for array element. So basically reducer is an array, is performed on the arrays, and what it does, it simply reduces a function. How it reduces, I will explain it later on with an example, so that the concept of reduce method is clear. So that's next, we have the reduce method returns a single value. So if we have an array consisting of multiple values, the result of the reducer, when we apply a reducer on the or the reduce method on an array, it shall congest or convert the array into a single value. Like if we want to perform a addition of the numbers that are present in our current array, or we have an array of strings and we want to combine all the values inside of an array, so we will perform the reducer method on our array in order to get single value from an array. So the second point describes this, that the reduce method returns a single value. It doesn't return a multiple value but a single. The function's accumulated result. The function's accumulated results means it results whatever the final or a single value we get in at the end of the reducer method. The third we have next, the reduce method does not execute the function for empty array. If we have an array consisting of no members, it will not simply work on the array having no values. So I hope this point is clear. Whenever we have a, like suppose we have an array, const array, and this one is empty. This array is empty. This means it has no values. So the reduce method will not work on it. It will only work when it will have members or the elements one or more than one. Only then reducer method function performs the operation on that array. Clear? So next we have last one. The reduce method does not change the original array. The original array remains same. There is a kind of copy, shallow copy, that is created from the original array and is converted into a single value or an accumulated array value. So I will create an example. I will write it here like const. Let me clarify the scenario. I want an array that has numbers and array consisting of numbers, and I want the sum of those. So basically definitely we will get a single value in the final result because we want sum of the numbers in an array. So we will take an array numbers, like we are taking a variable numbers and storing array consisting of 5, 10, 15. Now I know what will be the sum, na? How? 5 plus 10 makes 15, and then 15, the total will be, we can document this as a 30. What if we have array consisting of thousands of numbers? So in that case you cannot simply manually calculate the values. So what will we do? We will perform reducer on that array. we will create a variable sum. Inside that sum, what will we do? Let me define another variable constant initial value. Inside the initial value we give 0. Like at the start we will have a value that has 0, that has value 0, initial value that has value 0. Inside the sum we will perform the reduce operation on the numbers that this basically numbers is in our array that we have already defined. We will perform reduce operation. Reduce is a keyword in the JavaScript, so only in this case you can use this word reduce, otherwise it is a keyword. Keywords are the words that are predefined or already there in the JavaScript or any other language. So reduce, one thing you must remember, the syntax. Inside the syntax we use callback. Callback is basically a function. So function, inside function is called callback. I will create a separate video for this, for the callback functions. So currently, since we are covering the array methods, so I will not take that much time for this. I will simply make the syntax clear to you. Inside the function we will have two values. What value? Total value. The first parameter is the total value, and then we have another argument that is initial current value. Current value of what? Current value of the array, numbers array. Total will store, the total variable will store the sum of the values that we will get one by one. Here arrow function, and here we will return what? Total plus current value. All right, so another parameter is initial value. The initial value basically defines that the value starts from the 0. Okay, we can directly assign it this 0 value to initial value, but because we can also perform the operation reduce operation on the array consisting of the strings, so we can also place a string here as well. If we will do that later on after this. So now reduce operation has been performed on the numbers. We will see the result. Let's see if the intended results are produced. Sum is sum. Okay, sum is basically the variable where we have stored the operation or reduce operation performed on the array, and let's see what we are getting in our result. We will execute our code. The code is being compiled. There is some issue. Array method, so return comma return total plus current value, and we have initial value, numbers, everything is fine. Array method, current value, initial value. All right, because we have not actually commented this code, and this code is not understandable to the compiler, so it is throwing an error, that is array method. So make sure that you have commented out all the unnecessary text we have on the compiler. This is basically, if I want to make this online JavaScript compiler more clearer, this is basically a runtime environment, online runtime environment for the JavaScript. We can have other multiple languages. For this is for the practice. For professional development, you can use Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, and other platforms, or the Notepad plus. So all these platforms or the editors can be used for the professional development. For this kind of practice or clarification of different topics or concepts, you can use these online platforms. Otherwise, for the professional development, you can use the Visual Studio Code, Notepad plus. So both of these are recommended platform editors. So we will execute our code again. So here we go, the sum is 30. If we manually calculate the sum, 5 plus 10 plus 15 makes the 30. So sum here is that basically the reduce operation is performed on the numbers, and finally we get the sum, that is 30. Okay, this was in case of array consisting of numbers. What if we want to combine the values of strings? Like, let me give you a scenario. Like, we have hello Mr. Naseem. Let's see if we have this array greetings. Okay, we will change this variable name here as well, because we are performing operation on that, reduce operation on that. And also remember that this we use initial value in case we have numbers. Otherwise we will simply create an empty array, an empty value or empty string, so that we will tell the reducer that initially we have a empty value. So this will basically perform operation on the greetings and store all these values. Hello Mr. Naseem will be converted into a single value. Let's see what it returns. So greeting value is we will change this variable names as well. We will write greeting combined. Okay, same, we will copy and paste this here as well, so that the code may not throw any error here. Okay, everything is fine. Let's see if this works. Now what do you think the result would be? All these strings will be combined. Okay, so here this one thing that I want to tell you, that there will be no spacing here, because we haven't given space in our return method. If we provide space to this, let me show you how. Okay, here we execute our code and let's see what it returns. Okay, here we can see it has returned greeting value, hello Mr. Naseem. Okay, so there is no any boundary or any spacing between the words. This basically makes it unclear to the user, because it is not spaced well. What will we do? We will simply put spacing between. Now after each summing there will be a space between the words. So let me show you how it will look like. All right, so in order to differentiate, we must provide plus sign on the both sides. All right, so here we go again. We will see that there will be a spacing. So here we can see there is a spacing has been provided in our current execution. There is a spacing. So this was all about the reducer method. This is how reducer method works. So if you have any query or any confusion regarding this video, or any previous video or any topic you want me to clarify or explain in the video. Thank you so much.